Let's get into the show, and of course, we get to talk about my thing, like normal, first. And that this week, what I'm going to talk about is Team Liquid's movie Breaking Point, which is set to release in the beginning of November. For those of you that don't know, instead of doing Rebirth, they did is a weekly series. They did Breaking Point, which is a movie. Breaking Point. My stance on this is a really good thing. I think this is fantastic that they are putting this out. Is a behind the scenes, essentially like a tell-all on what happened with Team Liquid, the split. I had a conversation with my friends about this, and actually there was some controversy because people believe that this is going to show too much, that it'll be damaging the Team Liquid brand, because you kind of have this situation between Dardoch and Locodoco, and where both these guys butted heads a ton. There's some clips, some cuts in the trailer. People can go back and watch it. It's up on YouTube, where you have some pretty strong lines between these guys. And I'm happy we have Mark on the show this week to talk about it. But I think this is actually a good thing that Team Liquid is doing this. I believe enough in Damien Stroud, a friend of mine, who is putting the whole thing together, that he will be able to craft a narrative around it that does not damage the Team Liquid brand, and yet is able to show sort of the missteps and failures that they made. I think this will be a good thing.
I agree with you. I think this is actually a great thing, because this is even easier, quote unquote, in some sense, than what they did with their first episode of Rebirth, where when they did it the first time, we still had Piglet on the team. And we basically had to show that Piglet was like messing up, and it kind of made sense why we benched him, but not paint him in such a negative light that we ostracize him from the team. And this is a situation where they've already announced a new head coach. It's pretty much known that like Dardoch's probably not coming back to the team. It's not a thing where they're super concerned about the feelings. And even despite that, Damien, the editor and kind of in charge guy, producer, everything, he's super good about telling narratives and not making anyone come out like the bad guys. So, like when he did the Piglet piece, it wasn't like management's wrong, teammates are wrong, he's wrong. It's like he paints it in such a way that like it's just not working. And I think one thing that's different though is that both Loco and Dardoch are a lot more inflammatory than anyone else was during my time on Team Liquid when we were producing the series. So I'm interested to see how he does it, because it is like Dardoch, when he gets going, is out of control, and like Loco isn't always much better. So I'm a little scared about like even just the vocabulary coming out in this movie.
Yeah, I mean, HCC is attached to it. You would assume with a sponsor that they'll keep it a little tame, right? But who knows? It's esports.
I don't know. I think this is going to end up being a problem for Team Liquid, just because you can't. Airing dirty laundry like this, no matter what, is typically a bad move, especially if it's coming from the team itself. Obviously, if there's a journalist that's there, or somehow something is leaked or changed like that, that makes the organization look bad, that's what happens. But if the organization itself is saying like, no, we're gonna put this documentary out, we're gonna show what happened, and we don't care if it paints us in a terrible light, we don't care if it paints our former players and former coaches in a terrible light, I think that really sets a bad precedent for them. I think that it makes it so where fans are going to expect too much access, and also on top of that, it's going to make Team Liquid look not super hot in the face of a lot of adversity.
I mean, I like it. I think that it makes it realistic. It makes them transparent. It's cool that they'll show their inner workings to their fans.
It's too much transparency.
There's no such thing as too much transparency.
There has to be.
Well, I mean, there's definitely a thing as too much transparency, but the thing is, like, what's been shown to the community already is like terrible. Like, people already kind of hate Dardoch, hate Loco. Like, it's not like you're gonna put these guys in a worse light. Really, it's just gonna put them in like what actually happened.
I mean, I'm not specifically talking about those two. I don't really like those two. That ship has sailed.
Right. You mean generally?
But I'm saying generally, yeah. This is just saying like Team Liquid. This is how we handle controversy. This is how we manage to sort of play the PR game. We're gonna show everybody everything and let them figure out their own thing.
I am curious because the way that Mark positioned this is like, oh, we had to preserve Piglet's image because he was still attached to the team. Do you think they're just gonna throw Loco and Dardoch under the bus?
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying like the people working on it are good at what they do, and they're not gonna make anyone look stupid or like never work with this guy. Mm-hmm. That's not how they do it. I don't know how Damien does it, honestly. He's like a master at it. But
he's great.
Yeah, he'll make
okay.
He'll make Dardoch look wrong. He'll make Loco look wrong, but he's not gonna like no one's gonna just get blasted in this, right? Because when you work in a team environment, you know it's never like one thing or the other thing. It's a little bit of everything.
It
think
shows
the
the
fan-
atmosphere.
Yeah.
Do you think the fan base is going to be able to handle that level of subtlety, though? The League of Legends fan base is not exactly known for being able to understand the depth of something. I'm sure they understand it. They're not known for pushing that particular agenda. There's a lot of nuance when it comes to these sort of conversations. There's a lot of subtlety and interpersonal relationships. And I don't know. I think to me this feels really, really uncomfortable.
There was a lot of subtlety in the Dunzo Manifesto, I think. And so that's the other, people are comparing this a lot to the Dunzo Manifesto, which I really love, authored by Link, for those that don't know. But yes, I don't know. I think it doesn't matter because, you know, when I was talking to my friends about this, my whole take on it was at the end of the movie, the creators of it will have the opportunity to leave you with a feeling, right? Like, because this is how it is with any documentary, any movie. You have this like overall feeling as you walk out or take on the situation. And I believe that they will be able to craft something that is strong enough where maybe, and I don't know what it'll be, right? But maybe it'll be, wow, it really is hard to be a pro player. Sure. And it's interesting to see Dardoch struggle with that. Or
I mean, granted, we haven't seen the whole thing yet, so it'll be interesting to watch as things go forward.
Yeah, and that'll hit, I guess, in early November, right after Worlds.
Check out Yahoo Esports Live every Monday at 3 p.m. Pacific.